Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios with Trooper Wellman. We are here for an edition of Trooper Talk. Trooper Wellman. It's been so long since we've seen you.
Yeah.
You've done so many things. Tell us what's been going on the last couple of weeks. You've been to Washington, all this type of stuff. Tell us what's happening.
Yeah, I got a little busy. I was honored to be the family escort for the May family, and we traveled up to Carson City for the Northern Nevada Law Enforcement Memorial, where unfortunately, Trooper May's name was added to the police memorial wall. But it was very bittersweet to be able to share that moment with my peers, the honor guard, multiple honor guards, the entire state. They send a representative from each honor guard to go up there if they can, and to just be there for the family. And then after we left Reno, we went to Washington, D.C., where Trooper May was also honored for being one of the fallen this year for line of duty deaths, and I helped escort his family around for the entire week in Washington, D.C., and then we got back, and then we had the Southern Nevada Law Enforcement Memorial, where it was held at City Hall, and again, Trooper May, as well as other people that have unfortunately lost their life in the line of duty in 2021, were honored this year. So I've just been very busy with the family, but that's what it's about for me, giving back to the community and being there for, the families of our fallen and stuff. So it's very somber, but also very rewarding. So.
And so, Trooper May, Joanna May, and the children, every time that we see you, you're right there, and so what's that like emotionally?
I've been on this journey with them from the beginning. And, Micah was a friend of mine. We worked together for almost 10, 11 years. But we never really hung out outside of work. It was always a work friendship. And so when this tragedy happened, I really got to know his family, from his children to his widow to his parents to his brothers, nieces, you name it. And they've really become almost like a second family to me. And my family traveled with us to Washington, D.C.
Oh.
So my daughter and my wife shared in those moments with them as well. And, when we parted ways in Washington, D.C., something I will take with me forever was, it's very hard on me, but I can only imagine how hard it is. I can't imagine how hard it is on them, and
Right.
That's why I'm there to help them, right? But when Trooper May's parents hugged me, it was like they were hugging their own child. That's how hard they hugged me, and I felt their gratitude, but I also felt their pain, and it was just truly bittersweet. But it was an honor to be there for them, and it's been an honor on this journey. It should never have happened, unfortunately, but the money we've raised for them to be supported, the events we've done for the children so that to help with that not having their father anymore, from hanging Christmas lights to making birthday gifts to just all those little things. It's something that I will cherish forever, but super sad. It's just so sad.
Yeah. The painting a patrol car?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
car,
right,
the little
right.
car, right? Like the
Right.
gift. So we've done a lot, and I just can't believe it hasn't even been a year yet, and I just feel like we've done so much. We've been through so much, from the IPF car shows to
Yeah.
traveling, just everything. It's something I don't ever wish my family has to go through.
Yeah. And when you're there, do you break down? Or you only do that when you're in your private area?
I feel like I've broke down quite a bit in the beginning of this whole experience, because I put myself in his shoes, and I put myself in the family shoes, and I feel for them, and I just think, what if that was me? That could have been me. I learned from this, from everything, like making sure I have a will in place for my daughter in case something happened to me. Make sure that I have passwords set aside for my wife for bank accounts or any, my work login or this and that. Just like all these little things that I never would have thought about before, because I've been through this whole process now with the family, I've started to just now make a list, unfortunately, because I think it's better to be prepared for the if, not the when, but the if. And so,
Sounds like you're making yourself like you feel guilty. Do you like emotionally?
I feel bad for them. I just feel so bad for them, and I feel bad for everybody that's hurting for that situation. And you know, you get, like we've talked about it, you go to these scenes constantly, and you just experience visualizing a fatal the other day by the actions of somebody, and it's just frustrating because it all could have been prevented if somebody just would have made a better choice. And you just see, like, you know, when we went to Washington, D.C., we're seeing thousands, or I believe it was 519. It might have been 619 names added to the wall. I can't remember exactly. But those are all families of loved ones that they just lost. And you just feel for them. You feel their energy. You feel so, like, you look at that wall and you see all the names added. And I was just there a few months before for Sergeant Jenkins' family. And, it's just heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're glad that you're here. We're
Thanks.
glad that you're back. We're glad that you were there with your family.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? I'm sure that, you know, it meant the world. You know what I mean? Because to be able to have that support, like, it's very important for you.
Yeah, and, like, you know, with all the sadness and stuff, I mean, it's truly an honor, like, because I'm part of the Highway Patrol, or the Nevada State Police Honor Guard as well. So going up there and seeing how the fallen are honored and how their family is treated and escorted, and it's just like, wow. You know, there's no other profession that would do that for you except possibly the military. And it's such an honor that to know, like, if I was to pay the ultimate sacrifice and die in the line of duty, like, that's how I would be remembered. Like, I know that sounds twisted, but it's like an honor to know my family would be treated that way because of what I gave. And I'm just, you know, the average person, like, you know, I don't know. A lot of weird emotions, right?
No,
yes, very surreal.
It's very surreal because the thing is that it probably makes you put, like, you know, your life in check to, like you said, you know, you never want to go through anything like that, but God forbid something should do that.
Yeah.
At least you would leave, you know, your family, you know, prepared.
Yeah.
You know, like, to not be, like, it's better to be prepared than not prepared, I guess, at the
You know, we talked, like, with Donor Network, how to have those conversations are hard.
Yeah.
But you should have them so that way if something ever did happen, you're prepared or people know what your wishes are. And it's super sad and uncomfortable, but I think it's something that I had to take my mind to and physically do it because I see this process, and I just don't want my family, if that was ever to happen, to struggle more or to stress more on top of what they're already dealing with emotionally, you know? So.
Right. And that's got to be the hardest thing because you're already going through so much that the last thing that you would want is to have your loved ones go, oh, geez, now what do I have to do with all this? You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, like, I mean, just even, like, flying to Washington, D.C. to honor your loved one, like, that's money, time, you got to plan the hotel, you got to, all this stuff.
Right.
Just all kinds of different things, and so it's a lot to it, and I'm just grateful that I was able to be there for the May family and help them through it and help be their escort to take a little bit of that stress off.
100%.
Yeah.
So let's talk about now the summer. Let's talk about people that are, you know, the other day I was driving my car, okay? I was at 83 miles an hour, and these two cars blew past me. Like, one was in a Jeep Cherokee, right? Like a, you know, I mean, they were at 150. I mean, they were, like, gone.
Wow.
And they were racing on the freeway. And so, totally unsafe.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we all drive maybe at the speed limit or a little bit above or this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know, the thing is that these people are completely out of control.
Yeah. That's insane.
And so, you know, as you said, you know, the other day in front of the store, somebody was driving their Corvette and, you know, shut down the road, shut down the business, shut down the shopping center. You know what I mean? Like, besides, they lost their life.
Yeah. A life was lost for what?
Right.
And then we always talk about the ripple effect, and that's why I text you saying, look at the ripple effect, because your business, as well as all the surrounding businesses in this area, got shut down all day because it caused a power outage.
Yes.
And you might think, oh, it's a power outage, whatever. But no, that's money. That's food in people's children's mouths. That's their livelihood. That's how they support their family. That's how they pay for their home. That's how they survive. It's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Because of the actions of the choice that one made.
One person.
One person.
You know what I mean? Like, decided that, like, and again, you want to drive fast, go to the speedway or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so,
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Impaired driving, people are getting messed up and doing all these things, right? It's very bad right now.
Yes. So we just kicked off last week the 100 Deadly Days of Summer. We tend to see somewhat of an increase in the summertime. Unfortunately, our young adults are out of school and maybe don't make the best decisions, as well as adults don't make the best decisions. It's summertime. People want to go out. They want to go out to the casino pools and have a good time, or maybe there's more concerts, or the weather's nicer, so people are out and about, and we want that. We encourage that. We want tourists to come to our town, want everyone to have a good time, but again, we just want them to do it safely and plan ahead. We don't want to see any fatalities. We don't want to see any crashes, no one getting hurt. Just plan ahead. We have multiple rideshare services out there that I post it on our social media constantly if they offer any promotions for $5-10 off. This Memorial weekend, Lyft was offering, they teamed up with Zero Fatalities, and they were offering $5 off of rides if you use their rideshare service, because everybody in the community wants you to get home safely. It's a team effort, and it just comes down to choice and people making the right one.
And they got to make the right choice. They cannot keep continuing to drive impaired.
Exactly.
and to do all these, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's too much already.
It's just not worth it.
It's just too much. Like I was talking with Channel 13, the other day, and it's like, it's too much. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing, to drive, and you know what I mean? And but like these people are driving these cars too fast. They're driving these cars impaired, and again,
I just got the statistics back today for also last Thursday we kicked off the Memorial Weekend, and we did a joining forces operation down in Prim because between us and CHP, California Highway Patrol, we cover 27 miles from state line up. Granted, we cover all of the IR-15, but that 27 miles, we see an increase in speed there a lot because it's people coming to town. It's a straight stretch of highway, so we work down there a lot and like to enforce traffic safety down there. So over 20 officers on that Thursday came together to kick off the Memorial Day weekend, and it was combined efforts between California Highway Patrol, Nevada State Police, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and then I want to say our motoring squads teamed up. So I want to say Henderson Police Department, Clark County School District, pretty much all our southern agencies teamed up in those areas. And between all the agencies, almost every agency had close to 100 stops each, and majority was speed. And when I say they stop you over speed, it's always pretty much 80 and above or 85 and above. So we're talking high numbers. Unfortunately, there were many in the triple digits, 100 and above. And so that's why we're out there, because we're slowing people down. We don't want them coming to our town and causing fatality crashes and causing people any injuries because they're going to crash, because they're distracted driving, reckless driving. It's not tolerated here. We want it to be a safe community, and we take a lot of pride in that. And so we're not out there to, write people tickets to just ruin their day. We're out there because we want to keep them safe, as well as the motoring public. So,
and when you drive fast, you have been trained.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's not like you're just willy-nilly taking your patrol car and just driving down the road as fast as you can. And so when these people, they driving impaired or whatever, they're not trained. Right. This is just some person behind the wheel that can get in a car that, your car goes 100 miles an hour. Great.
Yes, we're trained how to steer our vehicles at high rates of speed. We're trained how to, brake at a high rate of speed. You wouldn't think that'd be a big thing to do, but it is, to keep control of your vehicle if you had to abruptly stop. We equip our vehicles with lights and sirens for a reason, so that we notify the public when we're traveling at high rates of speeds, because we We want them to see us. We want them to hear us, to let them know, hey, I'm coming, because it's a threat, right? Or it's like a danger.
Right.
So we want them to know, hey, we're coming, we're going fast, we're trying to get to an emergency situation. And that's why the law is in place where you have to move over to the right so that we can get through. But, you know, these vehicles, they don't have lights and sirens, so you don't know they're coming. And if you're not looking in your mirrors and they just come out of nowhere, they could possibly hurt you or themselves, and it's just unnecessary.
Right. And so that's one of the things that we need to really, stop right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For the summer and stuff.
Yep.
All right, let's see what we got here. This car was cut off by a reckless driver.
On the 95. Yeah, and that's exactly what we're talking about. You know, the car that's traveling at a high rate of speed and has no regard for anyone else's safety, and they make these unsafe lane changes without using their turn signal or at a high rate of speed. These are the consequences. They may not have any injuries and they may not crash, but look what they just did to someone else. Someone else that was maybe just driving to work, home. Maybe they went to go get ice cream. How do you know there wasn't their family in that car and they were just minding their own business? And because of the actions and the choice of one, it's so frustrating. Look what they did. Not only did they probably hurt them, but now their vehicle is damaged. That was probably, again, what if that was their only car they had? That's how they went to work and provided for their family. I mean, it's a ripple effect. It makes me
Yes.
so frustrated, all because one person wanted to drive fast. Like,
For no
why?
reason.
Like, why?
Right. And so, it's one of the things that is very, very important that we must stop right now.
Yeah.
We must stop these people from driving so fast in these cars for no reason whatsoever. You know what I mean? If there's an emergency and you need to drive fast, then call an ambulance or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Call 911.
Call 911 and, figure it out or something.
Yeah.
But, to do this is just... And again, I
it's
come back
selfish.
to, this is at night or, in the morning, whenever this is. You know what I mean? Like, and so
It's sad.
it's very, very sad. High, stoned, buzz, or drunk. It's impaired. Now, that's a great statement.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, buzz driving is still impaired driving. Just because marijuana is legal does not mean you can operate your motor vehicle after you just, consume marijuana. And I think people always think like, no, I'm okay. Like I can function. And until it affects them personally and they hurt somebody or they crash, then they realize, oh, I guess I wasn't okay. And that's where it comes down to personal responsibility to plan ahead. If you're going to consume alcohol or, smoke marijuana or do edibles or anything like that, that's legal and you're allowed to as long as you're of age. But you need to do it safely and do not get behind the wheel and plan ahead. And if you are, use our rideshare services, call a family or friend, or stay the night at the place you're at that you're doing it because it's just not worth it.
Yeah, and the prescription drugs, they have a thing on there that says, make sure that, that you take this, it may cause drowsiness,
Yeah.
or, you know what I'm saying? Don't take the prescription drugs. They can do the same. I mean, this is, again, one of the things that we have to stop these people making bad choices because they are hurting our community as well as hurting themselves. And
Yeah.
if they want to hurt themselves, go and hurt yourself. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
But don't affect everybody else here.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you take prescription medications and maybe you've been taking the same prescription for years and then all of a sudden you don't feel right that day, don't get behind the wheel because you don't know what's going on. Maybe your body's having a reaction to it, and just don't even put yourself in that situation because we want to make sure that you stay safe as well as everyone else.
Yeah. It's very, very important. And, there's more and more people that are coming here because of the summer and stuff like this. So this is something that, it's now in the beginning of the summer, we need to really stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Southern Nevada law enforcement. Oh, so this is what we talked about. So there's Joanna May, right?
Yep, and Micah May's 2 children. So this was the last one of all the events. So we did the Northern Nevada where we went to Carson City. We did the Washington, D.C., and then we came back down to do the Southern Nevada where we went to City Hall. The mayor talked. The sheriff talked. Multiple people spoke at the event. And we just honored our fallen, as well as they started a new know if you'd call it a monument. It's a like a statue kind of thing for to highlight citizens that go above and beyond.
Oh.
And they highlighted the individual, and I'm so sorry I can't think of his name right now, but the one that actually, when the two officers, the Metro officers, were killed from the CC's pizza shooting from Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Igor
Yeah.
and or Igor Solo and Beck.
Right.
That citizen that went and tried to disarm and take down the male subject from the shooting, his family was honored that day as well, and he is the first name on
I remember that. Right.
on
right,
the statue that they have in place, and
Right.
it was super powerful and amazing because our it's important to recognize our citizens. Just because you don't wear a badge, doesn't mean you're not a hero. And we're all in this together, and we're all a community.
Mhm.
And without each other, there would be no community. And so I thought that was really, really special that they highlighted him and honored his family like that.
Yeah. It's very important that we all do this together.
Yeah.
And so, just because, like you said, somebody is not wearing the badge doesn't mean that they're not very important.
Absolutely.
And they still didn't come home to dinner. You know what I mean? They still put their life on the line for somebody, and so somebody that they never met.
Yeah.
And so these type of things are really wonderful. And seeing Trooper May's, Joanna and the kids, I come back to the fact of that they might not understand today,
Yeah.
but in 10 years from now, when they see everybody standing behind them and they know that they've been there, that you've been there forever, they're going to just so much appreciate that,
Hope
and
so.
so they, obviously they would love to have their dad, but, to be able to see all these pictures and stuff like this is just really wonderful,
Yeah. And this is our Southern Nevada State Police Honor Guard, and it's consists of, we have our our corporals from the academy are in here. We have Highway Patrol, we have Parole and Probation, and then our Northern has Capitol Police in it. So, we're statewide, which is really cool because there's a lot of us, but this is our Southern one.
And so we had the Trooper McFadden.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about if somebody wants to become a trooper.
Yeah, you can go on nevadastatepolice.com where you can actually talk to Trooper McFadden or some other command. They're always monitoring that website. So if you have any questions, you can literally speak to them right there and type. As well as they constantly are posting different job fairs that we have. Please check our social media as well if you want to see any other job fairs that we have posted or recruitments that we have coming up. But ultimately, if you have that passion to serve your community and you want to help others, nevadastatepolice.com.
Yeah, we want to get as many people as we can, to join. Ah, there she is.
So part of going up to Carson City, I felt it was very important we've started this new thing now that we want to highlight our community partners and those that always go above and beyond for us and help make us so great, and the Nevada State Police. And so we started off last award ceremony with highlighting Denise Roche. Then we highlighted Jenna Dumas from Donor Network down south.
They're great.
Yeah, and this is Monica Miles with Donor Network. And so when I went up to Carson City with the May family, I made a quick little pit stop and highlighted Monica, and we gave her, that's Trooper Castor. He's our PIO up in Reno, and he does exactly what I do, but up in Reno. And
Okay.
so he works side by side with Monica, whereas I work with their other rep down here in Las Vegas. And so we just wanted her to know that we appreciate all her hard work and everything she's been a part of the Donor Network and the Nevada State Police partnership for over 7 years. Like, she really got it
Wow.
running. And so that's why it was really important that we highlighted her and let her know that we appreciate her so much.
And things like this mean so much.
That's how I feel about it. Like, she had no idea we were going to do that.
Yeah.
I just messaged her and was like, hey, like, I want to meet you, because we always talk on the computer, but we've never met in person. And I was like, I want to
Oh.
meet you. Can you meet me down here?
Yeah.
And then we surprised her and gave her flowers and the award. And so she was very appreciative. And, it's important to recognize people for their hard work and generosity. And like you said, it goes a long way. And so
Yeah.
definitely well deserving.
It goes all the way, and I know that people really appreciate that, and it's really wonderful.
Gotta pay it forward.
Yeah. Who's this?
Oh, goodness.
Huh?
So this was posted by Nevada Donor Network. They were highlighting Law Enforcement Appreciation Week. And so they highlighted me just because of all the stuff we did together this year. So
And let's face it, you know, we had Sergeant Smack on when you weren't here,
yeah,
and you know, you can tell, like, you know, what he did and how he appreciated you, and he sat there and talked about you the whole time, and you know, and so what's really special is that everybody that you touch feels this way, and they all share the pictures, they all feel this way towards you, and so I know that you're very humbled, and you know, you don't think that way, but you know, you are very special.
Thank you.
And everybody thinks that you're doing a fantastic job.
you know, I just love helping others, bringing a smile to someone's face. It's very rewarding for me, and so to be appreciated and to be recognized is very humbling and very it's such an honor. And honestly, I'm just so grateful to have made that partnership with them this last year and all the things we've done.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good. And so when you enjoy what you're doing, it's not work. It's just,
Yeah.
I love it. Like, I love networking lately. I love meeting all these new people and talking about future projects together. And I love it. I'm very, very grateful to be in this position that I'm in right now. Look, I met you through this position, and
Yeah.
it's like, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
So I try to just keep running with it and doing, like I said, it sounds cheesy, but like, I love bringing smiles. Like Monica's face right there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to highlight her. I wanted her to feel appreciated, and the smile on her face made it all worth it. And
Yeah.
it's like, I just love doing stuff like that. So
And I think that that's what makes it so special. And that's what people can feel. And that's why for what you do, you know, it's like you've found your niche.
yeah, I'm
You
very,
know what
very
I mean?
happy and
Like,
very
it's-
lucky.
It's I mean, it sucks that sometimes you have to get up, you know, crazy hours, you know, for
Yeah.
fatal or something. But
Yeah.
you know, for what you do, it's like it's really tremendous because you're able to share with people, you're able to explain to people, and people are really listening.
And I'll tell you right now, I'm not the best public speaker, and I actually don't like public speaking, but I know it comes with this position, and I'm grateful to have a voice. But what I get to do in this position and all the community events with the children and the donor network and just all the community stuff, like, I'll suck it up and I'll,
Yeah.
I'll just do these. I'll just do my best because
Yeah.
it's all worth it. So,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
yeah.
Distracted driving.
I believe it, and our cars are equipped, to be hands-free, and they'll even read our text message to us. I believe even some insurance companies now have started that if you put your car in, your phone and do, like, I'm driving, I'll respond to you later,
Uh-huh.
and it syncs. I think you get discounts now. Like, I mean, a lot of people are teaming up to do every effort to make sure people drive safely, but ultimately, I just keep coming back to it. It comes down to choice. And Zero Fatalities actually has kicked off their campaign for this year. And you're going to be hearing me say this a lot, but everything is now yet. So, just because you always drive and text doesn't mean that you can safely drive your vehicle. It just means you haven't crashed yet. It just means you
yeah.
haven't hurt yourself yet,
Yeah.
or anybody else yet. Just because you've drive buzzed all the time or you've left parties, oh, I've been way drunker than this before, I'll be fine. It just means you haven't got caught yet, or it
Right.
means you haven't crashed yet. And it's so true because, and with the Hope for Prisoners, you spoke to a couple people from Hope for Prisoners, and the difference between those people that have been incarcerated and majority of us is they got caught and we didn't, or like maybe granted,
Right.
maybe crimes were different, but we all have done things that we probably are like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or good thing I didn't get caught yet, or
course.
and so it comes down to choice, and you just gotta be responsible.
And the choice of not driving, texting, the only thing you're allowed to do is dial star 8HP if there's an emergency.
Yeah, 911, you are
right,
exempt from the cell
911.
phone
But
law.
other than that, stay off the phone.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Pull over,
like,
take the exit, if you need to fix your maps, whatever. And it has to be hands-free. It's any electronic device. And I remember, when that law went into effect, there was a lot of confusion for people because they'd be like, oh, I'm looking at my maps, or I have my GPS up. Well, it has to be hands-free. That's why you got to get a mount. Or before, when we had more people used to have GPSs on their like windshields and stuff. Like, you can't be messing with that while you're driving. It has to be hands-free. So any electronic device.
any electronic
Yep.
device.
And I remember like iPods, all that stuff. Like, all people used to be like, oh, I'm just changing my song. Well, if you can't safely operate your vehicle, that's the whole reason any electronic device, not just cell phones.
Right. And let's face it, you have to look down.
Hmm?
You have to take your eyes off the road.
Yeah.
You have to, hold on. You have to take one thing off the steering wheel. Maybe you use no hands on the steering wheel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. And at the end of the day, if something happens, you're not in control of the car.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so it's not good. People, when they drive motorcycles, they don't wear the protective gear. Most people don't.
You know, it's very hot in Las Vegas. I used to ride myself, and I would wear the jacket with the chest plates, helmet, and gloves. I was guilty of not wearing boots and pants and stuff because it's so hot. But I will say that, you'll regret it if you go down. And I knew I would regret it, and I was taking a chance by not wearing extra protective gear. They also make gear specific for riding, and it's really got advanced now. And they even have like where you can plug. It's almost like a little ice chest, and you can get like our motor units. They have cooling vests underneath, and it just plugs into the ice chest, and it circulates throughout the day, so you don't overheat. They also have for the winter time. They have heated jackets, same things, gloves. They've really gone above and beyond. So if you can, you should wear all the protective gear, but at least minimum you have to wear your helmet. So just be safe, because if you go down and if you're traveling at high rates of speed, you're only on two wheels and you don't have all that protection around you like a
Yes.
car, and you have no seatbelts. So just be careful.
Just be careful. And people don't watch for you.
It's not. I think some people don't watch for you, as well as even if they are watching for you, there are little blind spots because the bike is so tiny. That's happened to me many a times where I'm about to make a lane change and I'm like, did I just see something? And then I double look and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a motorcycle right there. Like, good thing I just double checked because I almost went over. Because sometimes it's just hard to see the bike, and if you can't hear it, there's a lot of things. So just always double check your surroundings to see if there is a motorcycle around you.
This morning when I was driving, there was something on the 215. A whole bunch of cars backed up.
Yes.
Like you look over and you hear like, "Rrrr," and what do you see? The motorcycle in the middle of the lane,
Absolutely.
right? Cruising down the road, and all you need is one person to just
Yeah.
open the door, for crying out loud.
Or just barely move.
Right.
That's where it comes down to both. We always talk about pedestrian safety, how it's the pedestrian's responsibility to make sure it's clear to walk across, as well as the motoring public to yield to the pedestrian or whatever the situation may be. It's a two-way street, right? Same thing with motorcycles. If everybody's double checking to make sure they're safe next to you making these lane changes, well, you need to decrease your speed, because it's hard to anticipate how fast and judge how fast a motorcycle's going if you're not going the speed limit.
Yes.
And two, you can't be splitting lanes. That's not legal here in Nevada. And you need to ride safely, obey by all the traffic laws, so that way you don't put anybody else in danger. Because just like that car from the beginning, the reckless driving, motorcycles are very, we hear about that quite a lot in town, that they're splitting lanes and they're all over the place, and they think, they can go fast and go everywhere they want, and it's it causes more people to crash, because then they abruptly stop or swerve to not hit them, and they just cause a whole mess. So just please be respectful of each other, whether you're on a motorcycle or in a vehicle. That's just what it comes down to, is human kindness. And just
Trooper Wellman, so we finished, but the important thing is that as we get to the summer, that there's big red signs that say wrong way,
yes,
right? That means don't go down that road,
yes,
right? If you're impaired, find another way. Don't drive fast. All these type of things, right?
yes. With the summer months coming and the temperatures are going to be increasing, especially in Las Vegas, not only plan ahead and be smart and don't drive impaired, and use your turn signal and don't speed and all the things we always talk about, but also to take note, please, if you can, always have some water in your vehicle. Make sure you constantly check your vehicle to make sure you have enough gas so you don't get stranded on the highway or the surface streets. Make sure you do not leave your children or animals in your vehicle. If you're not feeling well and you're not hydrated, because the heat does, we see an increase of more of medical calls in the summertime, because people just haven't adjusted to the heat and they're not hydrating enough, and that could also cause crashes. Or like we were talking about prescription medications, if you're not taking enough fluids and staying hydrated, and you're on medication as well. That could all play a factor. So please just take care of yourself, stay hydrated, have some emergency supplies in your vehicle if you ever did get stranded, because it does get very, very hot in the summer. Make sure you have a charger for your cell phone so you can call 911 if you do get stuck. We are here to help you. We want to get you off the roadway, and make sure that you and your loved ones get to your destination safely at all times. So,
Well, we greatly appreciate it, and we want everyone to be safe.
yes.
You know what I mean? We think we saved one life already. We're not sure, but it's very important that we at least get people to slow down. So,
Absolutely.
Trooper Wellman, thank you so much.
Thanks for having
we
me.
appreciate you. Okay. All right. We'll wave and see you soon.
See ya.